Battlecry of Freedom by Ngakma Nor'dzin.
Part 2, the slogans. Slogan 33. Do not bring out others' secret state.
Ne la mi bab.
Skillful riders focus on their own skills and refrain from revealing or commenting on the shortcomings of others. In the early days of owning Dee, she was still living at the riding school. This meant that she could be in her stable for up to 18 hours a day, depending on the time of year. I would often take her onto the yard to groom, so that she had a break from being in the stable. I was always fully aware of the potential for Dee to act aggressively toward another horse. I would avoid visiting during their busiest hours, would take Dee to a quiet area of the yard, away from the main thoroughfare to the arenas, and always tied her lead rope securely. When one particular instructor was on duty and I took Dee onto the yard, she would loudly call out, "Dee, on yard!" as a warning to everyone. I found this upsetting. No other instructor did this or seemed to feel it was necessary. It was like announcing the instructor's perception of Dee's secret state to the world, or announcing disapproval of my secret state of confidence in taking Dee onto the yard. It felt unkind.
Chogyam Trungpa Rinpoche says, this slogan also means not to humiliate people.
The secret states of other people are that which they wish to keep secret. It is their sore spot, the heart of their feelings, or their vulnerable place. It is not kind to reveal that which someone chooses to keep secret. It is unkind both from the insensitivity of revelation and from the arrogance of assuming the right to reveal. This slogan is connected to gossip. Indulging in gossip can be a means of feeling more secure through shared opinions. Practitioners of mind training take responsibility for their own states of mind and regard the mind states of others as none of their business. They know that even if they believe that they have clearly seen to the heart of a situation, this does not give them the right to offer that insight to others.
Dilgyal Khyentse Rinpoche says, when we look into a mirror, we see a dirty face because our own face is dirty. In the same way, the defects of others are nothing but our impure way of seeing them.
The recognition of a secret state also does not convey the right to disparage. Negative criticism is never pleasant to receive, so a practitioner must be totally sure of having the authority to offer such criticism before causing another discomfort in this way. Such authority has to be given by the other person, not assumed by the critic. Ordinary life circumstances may mean that it is necessary to criticize, as a teacher, an employer, or a parent, for example. Even then, great care needs to be taken in commenting on anyone's vulnerable inner state.
Ngakpa Chogyam says, one problem that arises when discussing compassion is the notion of wrathful compassion, which people often seem to confuse with the idea of sometimes having to be cruel to be kind. To manifest wrathful compassion, one has to be able to guarantee a positive outcome. If this is not possible, then one has to restrict oneself to kindliness.
In the context of mind training, to have the authority to criticize another would be to have been placed in the role of Lama. The Lama is given authority by the student. The Lama is then able to make direct comments with the intention of benefiting the student. The role of Lama cannot be assumed without an appropriate Vajrayana relationship with the student. To assume the authority of a Lama outside the Lama-student relationship would be inappropriate and arrogant. Practitioners of mind training need to be confident in their capacity and rely on their insight, but should not be careless or distort this into arrogance.
Chandra Dechen says, the role of the Vajra master is quite astonishing from the point of view of the student. In the context of riding lessons, Ngakchen Rinpoche and I decided to treat Melissa Troop as our Vajra master. Although we made no mention of the idea to her, the sense of our seriousness and willingness to be pushed beyond normal limits became apparent to her. Ngakchen Rinpoche says, it is clear to me that without Melissa Troop, I would never have done more than trot rather badly. Having said that, it was partly her tuition and partly my decision to do whatever she suggested. If she suggested raising the height of the jump, I agreed without hesitation. It's not that I never fell under her tuition, but every time I fell, I knew quite precisely that it was my fault. I never had to drive all blames into one, because there was no doubt that I was the one to blame. It was often quite comical, and there was a great deal of laughter in our lessons.
The intention of the awakening hero is to be of benefit to everyone and everything everywhere. This should be remembered at all times. Err on the side of caution and keeping quiet, rather than risking hurting someone through applying the sting of the whip.